record it for YouTube. Hello, everyone. Listening possibly on YouTube. This is John Lobdell. I read poetry every Wednesday at 6 Pacific time with a few of my friends. And then I put it on YouTube for you guys. So like and subscribe, as I always say on YouTube. And I like to start with a little body mind centering, which I do by rubbing my hands till they're kind of warm. And putting right over your eyes. If you want to join me, you don't have to. Yeah, a couple more times. That's an exercise from bodywork called Breema, B-R-E-E-M-A, which you can find on breema.com. And now I should read some poetry. This is from my newest book, which I actually don't have copies of yet, but it's coming. Let's see what I should write. Oh, this is like a little story. Remembering. A man pushed his skiff into the ocean and sailed for many days. He'd heard there were people across the water, and he wanted to meet them. Finally, he came to land, and lo, there were people. Not only that, there were many angels flying overhead. Of course, there were angels back home, but he'd never seen so many. He spoke to a man there and understood him. We must be the same people, he said. The man of this land looked at him seriously. Our scientists have told us there is nothing beyond the sea. The seafaring man replied, Well, I am here. Surely I came from somewhere. Maybe your boat is of a simple design. I think you are not very sophisticated. The seafaring man did not understand. He kept looking at all the angels. You have so many angels here, you must be very happy. What silliness is that? There are no such thing as angels. Are you not impressed by the glory of our city? The seafaring man had noticed the tall buildings, but had not understood why anyone would want to live so far from mother land. The man of this land then asked the seafaring man, What have your people developed? I don't understand. What do you do? Oh, we tell stories mostly. Then you have created a great literature? Who are your great writers? We all tell stories about our lives, but surely some are better than others. Some become famous. Why would one story be better than another? Each is for that person. Then you are primitives. You have not learned discernment. Some people are more talented, just like some people are good and some are bad. The seafaring man did not answer. He was looking at the angels. They had stopped flying about and were hovering overhead. The seafaring man noticed tears forming in their eyes. Now when these tears fell to the ground, the most beautiful flowers bloomed. The seafaring man stayed some days, but soon grew homesick and sailed home. He was happy to once more be in his earthen home, covered with a thatched roof. When his friends asked him what he'd seen, he said he'd met some strange and sad people to whom the Creator had given so many beautiful flowers to help them remember.
That's pretty deep.
I guess it's like a little parable, I don't know. One of my friends didn't like that very much. Thought it was putting down people.
Hmm.
Barbara likes it. She gave me a heart. This one's called Love. I drive a long way to the beach, but I don't find what I'm expected and wanted. The waves are small because the stone jetty shields us from the exciting big waves that have come from another world. In the wind, it screams coldly on my face and carries with it fine sand that sting my eyes. I escape back to the protection of my car. Here I can observe in isolation. Some gulls are hunkered down facing the wind. Of course, this is their natural home. Yellow-eyed starlings search for food left by picnickers. All the picnickers have left except for a Latin couple who have wrapped themselves in a large blanket. The blanket has a picture of some Aztec bird with two great wings. Each of the couple has a wing covering them. I resume looking at the bleak beach. A group of kids are playing soccer, laughing and screaming. Much like the birds, they seem at home here. Looking back at the couple, the woman has lain her head on the man's shoulder. I exhale and feel even I might be at home here if I had someone to lay my head on. We might laugh at the biting wind, sheltered by a large blanket, and love. That's a beach. That's a beach up in Point Reyes, Barbara. You what it's called. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, let's try this one. Called Wisdom. I showed my friend an essay I thought was wise. He frowned and made a sarcastic remark. It got me thinking about wisdom and how people perceive it. I took my question to my walk on the beach. Some kids were playing tag with the waves and shrieking with laughter when they almost got caught. It occurred to me people don't like wisdom because they've been taught it's ultra serious and not exactly fun. Leaning against some driftwood, I watched some surfers out where the surf is breaking. They are lying on their boards waiting not only for the right wave, but also the perfect time to enter. I decide to wait. Let my thinking subside like the waves after touching earth. I dig my hands into the sand, down where it's cool and damp. When I look up, a woman surfer has come onto the beach. As she returns to her towel, she is waving at me. Does she think she knows me? But no, I think she is just happy. Happy from the elemental joy of being in the ocean. She gladdens my mood. And then I see it. I'd been in my mind seriously thinking. Now meaning opens up like a perfect wave to ride. True wisdom is never just thinking. The feelings must participate. Yes, and the body too. Only the heart really knows wisdom, and the heart is the full experience of life. I remember a story Mary Oliver tells, how she wasn't allowed to bring her dogs to her class until she agreed to teach in one of the older classrooms, and how the students wrote such good and happy poems surrounded by those joyful dogs. Okay. Did you guys like those poems? I've never read them before.
I love them.
Thanks.
I always love your poem.
Well, let's read one of yours. Let's see. And okay. Here's one by Glenda. Should I read Broken Wing?
Yeah, that's new.
Okay. This is a poem by Glenda Reed called Broken Wing. The delivery man came yesterday. He startled a dove amid the fallen seeds upon my patio floor. The dove began to stumble and stagger, her left wing outstretched as though broken. The delivery man thought the bird was hurt, but it seemed contrived to me. Sure enough, after a few feet, she gathered herself, flew easily into a nearby tree. In my memory, I recall how birds sometimes do this to protect their nests from perceived danger. I thought how friendship can be like this, small sacrifices out of caring, determination to make life better for those we call friend. I ruminate on that and see that friends, no matter how they came to be so, or who I want to stand with, laugh with, cry with, but mostly importantly, to protect. Birds and I, we're not so different. Great.
Thank you, John.
Very sweet.
Julie, I think Julie said she liked it.
Thank you, Jill.
Very sweet. I always have to stay quiet because of the pups. But I enjoy both of you very much.
Yeah. And Barbara's giving it a heart, Glenda.
Thank you, Barbara.
Let's see. Yeah. I've seen birds do that on like videos. I've never seen it in person.
That was the only time I ever saw it.
What I saw the other day were about 16 crows attacking a hawk in a tree. Of course, the hawk was trying to get the crow babies, so they had a right to harass that hawk. But that's kind of interesting. You don't see that so much in nature, like a whole group of something like protecting somebody else's babies. All right, so I'll read some other people's poems. Let's see what I got. This is from a book I got recently, Poetry in the Natural World, edited by Ada Limon, who I know. To be honest, I don't know hardly any of these poets. They must be newer kind of poets. Let's try one of them. This is somebody named Matthew Zapruder. It was summer, the wind blew. It was summer, the wind blew away from me, and I stayed here thinking about a certain mountain. Things got green, then forgot, and in their forgetting remembered everything was not grass to me. My son forgot he could not swim, then emerged tall as laughter, hidden as a lesson in a song. He forgot how to tie his shoes, then learned how to draw a face, and tie it to a string and run far off into a place only he could go. I chased him, but he grew larger. For a week he became a carpenter. Hammering filled my heart. My heart went to the hardware store and bought all the napping spatulas. This is crazy. It was summer, so I let them stay up all night, or they let me. We swung from the magnolia. Our great leaves fell. It remained our friend. Each day was the same sweet holiday that never ended until the windows got soft. It was summer. Candles came on like televisions. That was the last time things were real. Well, there's a lot of imagination in that. Let's see. Oh, well, here I have an oldie and a goodie by Rilke. Everybody's favorite Rilke. I live my life in widening circles that reach out across the world. I may not complete this last one, but I give myself to it. I circle around God, around the primordial tower. I've been circling for thousands of years, and I still don't know, am I a falcon, a storm, or a great song? Here's another. It's funny, he has the same imagination as that last poet, but he's so much, there's something about it that you can follow easier. It's more put together somehow. This is another Rilke. I had many brothers in the South who move handsome in their vestments through cloister gardens. The Madonnas they make are so human, and I dream often of their Titians, where God becomes an ardent flame. But when I lean over the chasm of myself, it seems my God is dark, and like a web, 100 roots silently drinking. This is a ferment I grow out of. More I don't know, because my branches rest in deep silence, stirred only by the wind. Maybe that's enough Rilke. Well, here's another one of my favorites. I read this a lot, but I just like it a lot. It's by Jane Kenyon. Briefly it enters and briefly speaks. I am the blossom pressed in a book, found again after 200 years. I am the maker, the lover, and the keeper. When the young girl whose star sits down at a table, she will sit beside me. I am food on the prisoner's plate. I am water rushing to the wellhead, filling the pitcher until it spills. I am the patient gardener of the dry and weedy garden. I am the stone step, the latch, and the working hinge. I am the heart contracted by joy, the longest hair, white before the rest. I am there in the basket of fruit presented to the widow. I am the musk rose opening unattended, the fern on the boggy summit. I am the one whose love overcomes you, already with you, when you think to call my name. That's precious. Well, let's read another by her. Let's see. The Blue Bowl. Like primitives, we buried the cat with his bowl. Barehanded, we scraped sand and gravel back into the hole, then fell with a hiss and thud on his. They fell with a hiss and thud on his side, on the long red fur, the white feathers between his toes, and his long, not to say aquiline nose. We stood and brushed each other off. There are sorrows keener than these. Silent the rest of the day, we worked, ate, stared, and slept. It stormed all night. Now it clears, and a robin burbles from a dripping bush, like the neighbor who means well, but always says the wrong thing. Here's some by that Melanie Green, who unfortunately young in life came down with chronic fatigue. Iris. The bud opens like a woman rising out of water. Night, river of cobalt blue, softens around us, a thrum of color. I lean toward you and open the dark, reach deep as the other side of the world. Wind like a child's hum, irises blow to the stars. For one stuttering light to touch me, I would get on my knees. What is there to love if we cannot love what is in front of us? You remind me I was a child picking dandelions, stringing necklaces. Now we need every stem of light for our footsteps, our hands cupped together for water, for desire, for what is taken away. Recovery. Hello, bed, me again. Let's not count years. I need to find a slow river for my blood. My dreams need 1,000 words to find 3 or so of comfort, a wisdom where I've never been before, clawing for the window, for sky, envy for the redbud branch vaulting in the breeze. Somewhere between blue hills and clouds, I am. Don't call me hopeless. Tie me to the wind. Ah, lovely line. Here's one for you, Barbara. In Marin County, Sabine and I have the same chronic illness. She's so thin now, she wears quilted slacks, a sweater, green wool scarf around her neck. It's late June. Talking takes energy. Mostly we are silent. We are silent as we eat dinner, with the patio door open, listening to the creak and the reedy notes of the mourning dove. What I crave in rich conversation with friends is what I feel with Sabine when we're silent. The mourning dove, robin landing on the deck, the poppy in the garden. Red poppy, the day before it blooms. Part of an ongoing conversation about what God is. Sabine. 3:27 a.m. It's my turn with insomnia tonight, but you witnessed my infatuation with self-discipline. Took extra sleep meds and went to bed early. Oh well, with the subtraction of light and carpenter's noises, my restless mind begins beginnings. Mine begins beginnings. Yet I keep returning to this afternoon, sitting in the lawn chair on the deck, the creek sounds, and stellar jay, the hummingbird rising through the leaves of the bay tree. 2 deer wander their nimble-legged, soft-necked lies into our clearing to feed on the blackberry leaves. How can we ever be separate from God, as your fingers, hummingbird-like, brush the top of my head? Yours in silence, and the love of the question, Melanie. I like that line. As your fingers hummingbird-like brush the top of my head. You're a lovely poet. How much time do we have? Okay. Oh, I found this one by Thomas Merton, who I know is he's some kind of a monk. He's written a lot of books about Christianity and Buddhism and whatnot, but I didn't realize he wrote poetry, so he wrote this one. An elegy for Ernest Hemingway, of all people. Now, for the first time on the night of your death, your name is mentioned in convents, necados e obscurum. Now, with a true bell, your story becomes final. Now, men in monasteries, men in requiems, familiar with the dead, include you in their offices. You stand anonymous among thousands, waiting in the dark at the great stations on the edge of countries, known to prayer alone. Where fires are not merciless, we hope, and not without end. You pass briefly through our midst. Your books and writings have not been consulted. Our prayers are pro defuncto in. Yet some look up as though among a crowd of prisoners or displaced persons they recognized a friend once known in a far country. For these the sun also rose after a forgotten war upon an idiom you made great. They have not forgotten you. In their silence you are still famous, no ritual shade. How slowly this bell tolls in a monastery tower for a whole age, and for the quick death of an unready dynasty, and for that brave illusion, the adventurous self. For with one shot the whole hunt is ended. That's a pretty complicated poem for Thomas Merton. Of course, we know how many words shot himself once he got dementia because he kept getting head traumas during his life. So he decided to end it. And Zoom is telling me I'm running out of time. So let's read some Marys. Let's see, I read that one last time. Let's see. Not this, not that, nor anything. Not the eastern wind, whose other name is rain, nor the burning heats of the dunes at the crown of summer, nor the ticks, that new ferocious populace, not the president who loves blood, nor the government agencies that love money will alter my love for you, my friends, and my beloved. Oh, for you, oh ghosts of Emerson and Whitman. Oh, for you, oh blue sky of a summer morning that makes me roll in a barrel of gratitude down hills. Or for you, oldest of friends, hope. Or for you, newest of friends, faith. Or for you, silliest and dearest of surprises, my own life. I read that one before. In the pasture. On the first day of snow, when the white curtain of winter began to stream down, the house where I lived grew distant, and at first it seemed imperative to hurry home. But later, not much later, I began to see that soft, snowbound house as I would always remember it, and I would linger a long time in the pasture, turning in circles, staring at all the crisp, exciting, snow-filled roads that led away. Yeah, we'll do one more, Mary. Both worlds. Forever busy, it seems, with words. Finally, I put the pen down and crumple most of the sheets and leave one or two, sometimes a few, for the next morning. Day after day, year after year, it has gone on this way. I rise from the chair, I pull on my jacket and leave the house for that other world. The first one, the holy one, where the trees say nothing, the toad says nothing, the dirt says nothing, and yet what has always happened keeps happening. The trees flourish, the toad leaps, and out of the silent dirt, the blood-red roses rise. Alrighty, that was fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Glenda.
Yeah, thanks, John and Glenda.
Thank you, Julie.
Nice.
Barbara. Nice to have you along. Okay, well, I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Oh, yeah, should be okay.
Great. Have a good week, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, John. That was fun.
Thank you, Barbara. We'll have to go out and write some poetry one of these days.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna end it here and say goodbye to you all. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.